was doing work, and even it's funny and satirical that no one else was really doing, and I've really just honored, man, that you guys have given me this platform and supported me and my perspective. Right, I feel like I bring a really different perspective to the media landscape, and thank you guys. Couldn't have done that literally without your help. 8:25 Monday, May 16th. Let's go to get into work week weather. Landon Aydlett standing by from the National Weather Service. Good morning, Landon.
Good morning, and I don't know how to quite segue from the topic of the last block.
I know. I tried to give you a little space with the commercial break and stuff, but
yeah, gosh, I don't know where to even begin. But
weather's
let's
a good.
talk about
That
let's
always
talk
works.
about weather.
Why not? Why not? Thank you, Landon.
But yeah, let me just say that being a part of the link, even though I'm not with KUAM, but it's been my distinct pleasure and privilege to work with you all on the link since the early days of COVID. I think this has given me and the National Weather Service a great platform and opportunity to better communicate weather and hazards and information to the public in a way that we've not done before here on the islands. And I think it fills a niche that really needed filling here in the region. So thank you all at KUAM and the link for this opportunity.
I feel you on that,
so
Landon.
I hope to see where we can go in the future with this opportunity. So let me flip it around to the weather right quick. I'm going to turn you around to our radar. As you notice, we put out a press release with the Homeland Security Office last week. They distributed it to the media for us last week. We do have some extensive radar maintenance going on beginning today and going on for the next couple of weeks as we make significant repairs to the hardware and the system. So if you're ever in the Barragata area, you notice our big radar dome that's over between Wendy's and Ladera Tower. It looks like a large golf ball sitting on top of a stand. That golf ball will be taken off the tower sometime later this week if the winds cooperate. We're going to have cranes out there with the National Radar Operations Center. They will be here on island, and they have to remove that dome. And so they're going to be replacing large equipment and part of the pedestal that makes the radar spin and elevate over the next 2 weeks. So if you're in the area, you'll notice a lot of activity as long as the weather and winds cooperate. So to look at the morning radars, dry across Guam and the islands this morning, just a few spotty showers over Tinian and Saipan, but we do have this cluster of scattered showers sitting off just to our east. That's going to make its way toward Guam, but it may be weakening gradually on approach. So some of you may see showers, but others may not. That was the case yesterday as we had some pretty heavy showers for a period over Agana and Tumon Bay area, whereas other areas of the island remain dry. Looking at the radar, the satellite, not much out there. We do have this little cusp of weather coming through. All the clouds in the upper levels are zipping off toward the northeast. That's part of an upper level low that's sitting to our west. That's the Tut cell, and then the low level moisture down there. You remember the last couple of weeks, we talked about the Tut cells in the past. They can help generate showers and thunderstorms across the region, but you need to have that low level support. And right now, there's not much action in the low level. So that Tut cell sits over here, just north of Yap and west of Guam. That's going to continue toward the Philippines with another cell farther out to our east that will gradually drop toward the southwest, but possibly with little impact for us because there's really very little forcing at the surface because winds have largely collapsed across the region with much lighter winds across the area. So going to the work week weather, it's very quiet out there. Quiet over Guam and Sinai with scattered showers to the east. They'll probably weaken as they start making their approach toward Guam, but we could see some few spotty showers around midday, but nothing too bad. Rip currents, a low risk. The seas and surf have fallen dramatically in response to the lighter winds across the region. And the Guam fire danger is high. It would be very high if we had the stronger winds, but with the lighter winds, we're just reduced to a high fire danger today. So any fires that do begin, they won't spread quite as rapidly because those winds just are not there. The next slide, east winds at 3 miles per hour. So some days it's so windy you think your hairline's going to go back a couple inches. That's not going to happen today here across the Marianas. So 3 miles per hour, it's going to be light, probably around 10 miles per hour through much of the day in the next couple days. So enjoy the break of the winds, but it means it will be a little bit warmer to the skin as you're outside. Yesterday's rainfall, just 1/100th of an inch of rain here at the office, but farther to our west over Tumon and Agana, some areas received upwards of a 1/2 inch of rain in about an hour hour and a half yesterday, late morning. I was at the Pacific Islands Club at the pool yesterday. You did not have to get in the pool to get wet. It was coming down in torrents, and then it dried up rather nicely by early afternoon. Now look at the record for the day. 4.06 inches of rainfall fell 2015. That was 7 years ago today. So pop quiz, Chris, what happened 7 years ago today on May 15th and May 16th, 2015? We'll get to that very shortly.
Okay, let me start Googling.
It's a very exciting day for us in the weather world, of course, by the 4 inches of rainfall. The next slide, this is our Facebook post. We're talking about the climate. The La Nina pattern does persist, so expect more of the same weather. So generally for us, that means a wetter, dry season and more enhanced trade winds with a slower start to the tropical cyclone season. And we will be releasing publicly our tropical cyclone outlook for the region for the rest of the year. That'll be coming out in about 2 more weeks in a regional climate conference. I'll be putting out the invitation to that webinar probably in the coming days. So for the media, be looking out for that. I'll be sending you all that link shortly. But for La Nina pattern, that means slower tropical cyclone activity across the Mariana Islands and eastern Micronesia, whereas an El Nino year, 2015, for example, all this activity shifts eastward and puts more action over the Mariana Islands. And currently, there are no suspect areas across the western North Pacific, the South Pacific, or the Indian Ocean at this time. So it's very quiet as far as the tropics are concerned across the region. And this is your answer for 7 years ago. Typhoon Dolphin, that passed through the Mariana Islands May 15th and 16th as a Category 2 typhoon right through the Rota Channel, clipped over Anderson and Jigo of northern Guam. And so if you're waking up this morning 7 years ago, we probably had tropical storm force winds still lingering across parts of Guam, especially northern parts. So this is where we were 7 years ago.
Wow.
So if you were here back then, that was a fairly exciting morning, especially if you work in the weather and the news industry. The next slide showing the winds across the open ocean, very quiet out there with winds generally around 10 to 15 knots and much lighter below 10 degrees north latitude. We have those tut cells to our west and then also toward Wake Island. And really the strongest trade winds are out there near Wake Island, right about 15 to 20 knots. So very quiet out there, very little forcing, very little in the way of surface trough. So it's just a very quiet period for the next several days as things start cycling back through. And of course, the buoys at Epan and Rutidian show a very similar picture, quiet out there with combined seas of 3 to 5 feet, primarily east swell, and then wind waves will be less than 2 feet. So it's not the best day for surfing, but it's a great day if you want to get out in the boat and not have to worry about rocking and rolling in the choppy seas and surf. And for the work week weather, much of the same through all of the week, just very few showers expected, mostly sunny, partly cloudy through the weekend with winds generally light around 10 miles per hour, 10 to 15 miles per hour by midweek, and only isolated showers. And on the last slide, I do want to bring attention that the Tower for Humanity is coming quickly upon us. 1 month to go till we start our groundbreaking event for the 3 days of construction. So Brandon and I will be at the Gagne Shopping Center starting June 16th for the kickoff ceremony at 1:30 p.m. in the center court. So I hope you all join us there at 1:30 p.m. center court for the groundbreaking ceremony of ribbon cutting. We'll have a number of island VIPs and special guests to participate in the ceremony and also help us cut the ribbon and lay some of the initial pieces. We'll be out there probably around 9:30 that morning, June 16th, to get some building underway because we're going to be working on a very tight schedule. If you notice this picture in the middle, that was our test tower number 2 in my stairway of my house. That reached 17 feet 10 inches, and that was about to break the current world record. It was just 4 inches shy, but of course I had the ceiling to deal with. Right. So the actual tower that we will be building will be considerably larger. I would just leave it at that. It's going to be considerably larger. This tower right here was 42,000 blocks.
How long did it take you guys to build that one, Lennon?
It was, Brandon and I, we worked on that for the better part of 2.5 days, and we had a lot of other people assembling some of these smaller pieces downstairs, and they would send those to us. And so we're going to follow a similar convention at the Gagne Shopping Center. But like I said, due to some intel we had in the States on other record attempts, we decided to order a lot more blocks, and we're going to have a much larger tower. So we're going to be building solid a 3-day period at the Guyan Shopping Center. It's going to be exciting. And this new tower, we've tested out a 5-foot prototype of this new tower dimensions, and we feel very confident in its structure, its stability, and it's going to be a new feat for us as well. So we are very much looking forward to that, and I hope everyone on the island can join us. And find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tower for Humanity, and see how you can get involved. We'll be putting out volunteer solicitations. Probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks, we'll be looking for volunteers for a number of positions, from safety, security, to constructing blocks and helping out at the ground level. So a lot of exciting stuff to come.
Landon, is it when people are trying to, meet or beat these world records, is it common for the tower to get up that high and then like collapse? Does that happen a lot?
That's a good question. And the current world record was 18 feet 2 inches, and it stood long enough for them to get a few pictures, the official measurement, and then it collapsed. But keep in mind, the footprint for that tower was very much smaller compared to ours. So we've tested ours. It's going to be steady, it's going to be stable, and it's going to be solid. And actually, the guy that holds the current record emailed my brother and myself. He found out, heard word about this, sent us an email and said, "Good luck, and we wish you the best." So we're talking to them and getting some pointers and tips.
Wow. Yeah, make sure they're giving you the good pointers and tips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Landon, I wanted to thank you, man, because you're right. With the weather and the way we've done it before, the link, was kind of, and when we talked about doing weather on here, we didn't want it to just be a phone call, right? Because it's just so vanilla. And the way you've been able to do the weather with all the displays and the video feeds and the trinkets and all that stuff and the flashing lights that you have there at the weather service, I feel like it's just revolutionized the way we do weather here on Guam, and I hope it's something we can take away moving forward.
Yeah, you speak my thoughts. And you remember I did the research on how we communicate weather and threats on the island back in 2017 and 18. And it really indicated the need for this communication here on Guam. And so when you approached me back in 2020 about this opportunity, I was like, heck yeah. It was an easy answer for me because it really fits my agenda, my passion for this office.
Right. And I mean, we're wrapping in 2 weeks, but it doesn't have to be goodbye, Landon. We've had a great relationship with you here at KUAM, and I hope that that'll continue long after I'm gone.
I hope so.
Right on. Take it easy, my friend.
Thank you.
Esta. There you go. Landon Aydlett of the National Weather Service. Now I feel a little, so we did our big announcement here, guys. I read it out at 8 o'clock. The stations at KUAM are announcing that the link broadcast this show is going to sign on for the last time ever next Friday, May 27th. And I'm also putting in my 2 weeks here at KUAM. I know the release alluded to the next chapter for me. Like I said, I want to say goodbye to you guys the right way, and I want to respect the time I put on here at KUAM. And I'm pretty sure you'll be hearing from me. I'm not moving off island, in case anyone was. This lady called up. Man, I just got this call from this lady while Lana was doing the weather. And she was, first of all, she was totally shocked by the news. And she was telling me that the first time she ever heard the Sousa Cruz, the pit bull prank